So hi everyone, today we have a special guest on our channel. We have Parul with us. So Parul, would you like to introduce yourself once?
Yeah, sure. Hello everyone, and I'm Parul, and I have graduated in 2025 recently from Banasthali Vidyapith, and I'm currently SD1 at Flipkart, and I have done my previous internship, the winter internship at Flipkart itself only, and like for the summer internship, I have interned at American Express. So yeah, that's all about me.
Alright, so as you guys can see, she has recently cracked Flipkart and that too off campus. So Parul, would you like to start us off with your interview experience at Flipkart? Like how many rounds were there, what all happened?
Yeah, sure. So I'll continue with the online assessment. It was basically the online assessment of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and we had got the three questions, which were of the difficulty level easy, medium, and then hard. And these were basically the hard was about the DP itself, and I don't remember exactly for the two easy and the moderate one, but that can be doable. Like all the questions were not as such so hard like some of the companies that they are not doable. These questions were quite decent and doable kind of stuff. So you get like if you have done previously some DSA and Dev and have participated in the contest, so you can basically do it right away. And after that, I got a call for the interview. So first round basically for is the technical round for the DSA itself only. So we get the two questions in that round. First is the easy and second is the medium. So first easy question was related to the strings something, and the second question was related to the binary tree. And after that, clearing that round, the difficulty level increases from round one to round two. So they give the two questions itself only for in the 45 minutes, and you get to solve those two questions in a particular time frame for 45 minutes. And that questions are lead code medium and lead code hard. So the lead code medium question was around it's like I guess binary tree it was there, and another question was around DP. So it's mix of combination of these questions were there at that time. And they also asked me some bit question related to linked list, and it was an easy one because the time left at that time I solved it in 30 to 35 minutes. And those questions were mostly from the lead code, a bit variation, so someone can easily get it if someone has practiced those sheets kind of stuffs, whatever cyber sheets and these sheets are there, so someone can easily go through that. And after that there was a third round. Like for my case in what happened that to get to the FT offer. So I got when I cleared these two technical rounds. So they told us that we have got the 6 months internship, and now to get the full time offer, we have to clear a hiring manager round. So that is not basically a HR round. That is a hiring manager round that senior managers takes in the Flipkart. So they usually ask about that what projects you have done previously, what internships you have done, how much development knowledge you have, because they have tested us our problem solvings in the previous two steps at that time. So now they are understanding that how technical knowledge in the development domain we have. So they ask about projects and like why have you made these projects only, what are the tech stacks, and why you have chosen these particular tech stack only. Like and if you have done some projects, like in my case I usually share this story that the interviewer asked me that this question is like this project you have done is I can see that it's already available, it's not a unique idea, how would you justify it that you have done it yourself and you have not picked up this code from GitHub, why you have chosen this particular idea. So he reiterated along around this project idea itself only, that why this only and what have you learned about this. And I just said "Ki, you can check that it is available but not in the same tech stack." So he said okay, I'll go right now away, right away in front of you. And okay, you can go. So it was being about the confident and Flipkart fit, that you have to be very confident. And after that, the feedback I got from the HRs and after the selection, that you were so confident about whatever you were saying. So that gives you a very quick point, like very point that now you are doing that, you are very confident that we are doing taking the ownership of whatever you have done. So ownership is very important in Flipkart. So they find a person Flipkart fit if they are showing us the good ownership that whatever you have done is your work itself only. And also they ask you the questions around CS fundamentals, that is OOPS, DBMS, and they test the real world knowledge, not just the bookish language. They don't want the answers that are like just the definitions of something. They want that real world implementation. Like I have been asked a question for the deadlock, so I answered it that these are the four conditions and blah blah. So he said, oh, I don't want this bookish answer, tell me something real world. So I explained it through that we are going through threading systems and all these things. I explained it in the way. So that was the basically a process. And the first two rounds were of 45 minutes, and this round was of around 1 hour because it was a long discussion
Hmm.
round.
Hmm. Nice, man, nice. And I'm very glad that you mentioned this confidence thing. I think this is something that can make the process so much easier, both
Mhm.
for you and the interviewer if you're confident. A lot of people just get nervous and then they end up fumbling the things they already know. And even if you've made the project yourself, if you're not confident, the interviewer will think you've copied it,
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
you
You have to
have
be
to be
very
confident.
confident. Yeah, exactly.
You cannot show any insecurity in the interview, right? You have learned it, you have done the work, so now you need to back it up with confidence. That is extremely important.
So true.
So I'm
Yes.
very glad that you covered that. All right. So just to reconfirm, you
Hmm.
had the interviews first for the internship, and then afterward, the last interview was just to add the FTE onto
Yes,
that.
yes, yes, exactly. But if someone is like applying, but if someone is applying directly off campus for FT, so it person has to go through all these round, and all feedback for all these round will be considered as the final result.
Okay, cool. And if someone is just applying for, let's say, internship, a college student, and they crack all the rounds minus the last round, they'll only get the internship.
Yeah, like minus the only if someone is applying for summer internships and getting
Hmm.
like for winter internships itself, so there are
Yeah.
basically only two rounds, two technical DSA rounds are there. So for FT, we
Hmm.
have to clear the hiring manager round because the manager should know that if this person is coming in our team, so that person will be able to do and take up the
Hmm.
task or not.
All right. So as I can see from the interviews, you were asked a variety of things, right? But I can see that it was mostly DSA heavy, right?
Yeah.
Most of the things you were asked were about DSAs. Of course, if someone needs or wants to crack a company like Flipkart, they need to be good in DSA, right? Without that, it's
Mhm.
not possible. So
Yeah.
let's talk a bit about your DSA preparation journey. Like, how did you come to a level, that you were good in DSA and you were able to crack the interview? So how did you prepare DSA?
Okay, sure. So when I came into my second year of BTech, so I realized that DSA is a very important thing, and every company each and every time asks the same. So I given my whole second year to be able to crack that as soon as I enter my third year. So I would be able to crack some summer internships or and get the PPO for over there. So to get placed early. So I started with with the hacker rank. So I got to know that I picked up a language. Just I suggest each and everyone that don't take too much time to decide that which language should you choose, because I have been getting so many DMs from the freshers that which language to choose. Go and just choose a language which fits you well, because I am a very lazy person, so I won't go for Java because we have to type a lot. So I went for C++ and have seen that what are the perks for it, and started with the knowing about the language and STL's libraries, because as soon as I started with lead code, I didn't understand that what is vector, what is this, how can I do it. I know that this is an array something, but how can I do this vector and kind. So gone through all these stuffs that what are needed for the competitive programming and DSA kind of stuffs questions, and how can we solve these questions on platform. So started with the hacker and gone through these basic concepts, and solve the questions on language based, which gets the grips on the particular language. Started with those 40 to 50 questions on the language itself, and then after that I started shifting from hacker rank to coach chef at that particular time to understand these contest things. And after that, I have heard that lead code is the king of each and everything. Then I've shifted back to the lead code. But in the starting, I was pretty confused that which problem to follow and which problem to not, because in the starting it was I was feeling it was very difficult for me to grasp. So I started with the some of the sheets and gone through the YouTube that how to follow. So basically, following a plan is very important. Solving random questions will not give you any of the output, because in the starting I started solving problems very randomly, and I used to forget after some time that what I have done. So basically, making a grip on each of the particular section one by one is very important, and solving it in a very planned way. If you are solving it very randomly and doing anything like going on a particular question and solving it like that would help you much, and would help you like getting a grip on the questions, that this is this pattern. Because DSA is all about getting to know the pattern and clicking out that which variation is this, because there are some basic problems and all the problems revolve around those problems, and we have to make the variations around that. So being very into the making a plan, so started with the Strivers SD A to Z sheet. So that is very good sheet, I can say that it only helped me get placed because I have solved that sheet 3 to 4 times, and now I remember each of the question of that particular sheet. I solved it so many times. So that is the thing, because it follows from very basic to the very hard level. So if someone is like starting with their preparation, can go through that particular sheet. And no, I will just suggest that if you are starting with it, don't go to the hard question. You will feel very overwhelmed at that particular time. Just to start with the easy and the medium ones. And if you are not getting the approach, that's completely normal. It's not a thing, because someone who is solving it for the first time wouldn't get its approach. So go through the YouTube and search for this lead code question solution approach. Go to this approach and then try to code it yourself. If still you are not able to do it, then it's completely fine, because it's your first time, and everyone figures it out like this only. So you can not just copy paste the code whatever that YouTuber is telling, or just go to the solutions. Like after knowing the approach, go to the solution section for the lead code, and then can see that how many different ways we can solve it, and don't just copy paste it, see it. After that, seeing that how this code is particularly written for the approach you are trying to do, try to write it yourself and then run the solution, because that's how you will get to know. And after that, after solving that particular question which is mentioned in the sheet, you can go through the questions which are similar lead code questions. The algorithm shows that these are the similar questions, so you can solve those questions. That's why you will get the grip on that particular pattern of the question which it follows. So this is how you should strategize your DSA journey.
Hmm. Right, right. And just a point to add on top of that, right? Like that is a great point that you said, Ki. First of all, you should never ever copy the code. I see a lot of people just copy pasting the code for the sake of pulling up the numbers, showing ki I solved 1,000 problems or maintaining streak. So of course you should not do that. You should look at the approach, understand it yourself. But even before looking at the approach in the solution tab, give it a good amount of time yourself, right? Unless you
True.
struggle a bit with the problem, if you just give it 5 minutes and directly go to the solution, then you'll not be learning anything,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. This is struggle with it, because after that you will be able to remember that I followed this, but this
Hmm.
didn't work. So now I should know
Ha.
that what should work at this time.
Exactly. That'll get imprinted on you. Once you have struggled, now you'll remember ki, oh, this was the solution. I was doing
Yes,
this
yes,
all.
yes. In the starting, I used to jump a lot to the solution, and I won't get it. Like I know
Ha.
all these. I've been through these stages.
Exactly, because earlier it's frustrating, right? You are with the problem, you're not thinking anything. So the first instinct is just jump straight to the problem.
Yeah, true.
That is what beginners do. Right, right. And another thing that you said, which I really liked, is that you solve the sheet multiple times. Because a lot of times people think that you don't need to revise the essay. You're done with the problem, you're done with the problem. But that is not something what you should do. You should keep coming back to the problems to make sure that you retain the pattern.
Yeah,
Because this is nothing but a bunch of patterns, right?
true.
So you need to have revision, you need to do revision, you need to do a problem multiple times, come back to it to basically grasp it fully. You may not get it the first time
Yeah,
completely, right?
exactly. But grasping is very important.
Very important. Without that, of course, you'll fail. You might fail in the same problem that you have solved before. All right, cool, cool. So we've talked about your DSA journey in depth. Let's talk about the other aspects, because obviously, if you're in college and you're looking to crack a high-paying internship or FTE like you were able to, so you need to do multiple things. Of course, DSA is a primary part of it. Then you have CS fundamentals, you have development, and all that. So how did you manage all of that together? Did you give time to dev as well, CS fundamentals as well, or did you focus solely on DSA?
No, so focusing solely on DSA is not the
Will
only
not work.
option. Yeah, it will not work, because
Yeah.
it doesn't work like this. Like I can say that it's about like 60 to 70% DSA, but 30% still remains on the CS fundamental and your basic sides. So like I when I started with the DSA, so I given it a time, like for 1 month or two, I started with DSA, but then I felt that for your resume to get shortlisted and people know that you know the things, you need projects, because as a fresher, what you will have in your resume, you won't have any experience, so you need good projects at that particular time. So dev is also very important aspect to get shortlisted, because whenever your resume will get shortlisted, after that you will be going to the next stage, this which will ask you DSA. So shortlisting is very important. So I started with the project building journey. So for getting like projects, good projects and unique projects you want to mention, you first should, like in the word of AI, coding is not a problem right now, because we can code it, we can but solutioning and thinking approach unique ideas is very important right now. The project should not be copied from GitHub or anywhere else. You must focus on unique ideas. It's not, I can say, that you build something project like that doesn't exist. Even if it exists, it code should not exist like the way you think. Like if it's an idea of making a I've heard about like making a application of storing the patient's data and everything. This is going on very trend, so you must add your own features. This should not be copied, this should be the basic idea. But whatever you are coding right now, your features, your user experience should be different from what others have built. So pick up a basic idea from hackathons. Like you should participate in hackathons a lot to get to know the what real life problem statements are going on right now, and what solution you can build. You can see other solution what they are building, like if you are not able to ideate or something. But if you are participating in an hackathon, whether you will win or not, you will go out with a project, or like basically starting with the MVP of a project, and then you can continue working on it. So this is the how I started, like with participating in hackathons, knowing to what's going around me and how what tech stack is good. Gone seeing a lot of YouTube videos of discussions of the podcast, that what things are going on right now in the trend and how can I do this. After that, like if you are solutioning and exploring, you can go that this feature can be built by this language perfectly. Because like if you are using WebSockets in the chat application, for example, so you need to know that you have to implement WebSocket. So which language gives you the best WebSocket version? So you have to figure this out, that what are in the trends and which feature will give you the best and which language, and then decide and start up coding for the same. But solutioning is very important. In the corporate world also, I got to know that if you are taking long time on the solutioning, then it's completely fine, because solutioning is very important. We can't reiterate our coding each and everything again. If we have a good and the best solution, we can just start up the coding, and the coding will be done in very least time. So that is important. And also like maintaining the CS fundamentals, I focused on my college's studies also, because I also need to maintain the GPA at that particular time. So maintaining GPA will eventually force you to like get to know the CS fundamentals. If I'm focusing on college right now, so after that, like I can say that college doesn't teach you. I can't say in each and everyone's case that professors will be very good and they will be teaching you like you can crack any interviews at that time. If someone is teaching you up that particular topic and this is coming in your exams, so does just don't read what is coming in your exam, just don't read what your previous papers are, just to qualify that particular exam. Read it like this is for your own sake, because I would say that those subjects which are not necessary in interviews, go for that, like if you have to get the marks just. But those subjects which are important for you, like oops, DBMS, operating system, computer networks, go in very depth for these things. Like if you have studied one topic, for example in computer networks, DNS you have heard about, so you must go for each and everything in DNS that can be asked in an interview perspective. Just don't go for the semester perspective, but go for the interview perspective also. So this is how I maintain my CGPA, my college life, and my CS fundamentals and projects journey with the same. Because this
Hmm.
things forces you to do the same, not just only you are doing it.
Uh, no, right, right. And it does sound a bit hectic, that you have to manage all of this. But like you said, if you show a bit of interest, right? If you're not just studying for the sake of clearing exams, you're not
Yeah.
studying for the sake of just passing your semester, you have to show a bit of interest in it. Like you took the example of DNS, you have to actually understand how does it work. You have to be curious about it. And of course, to those of people who don't have good professors, you have multiple video lectures on YouTube as well, right? Like Gates Master channel is there and all. But yeah, the main thing is you have to be a bit interested. You have to be a bit
Yeah,
curious about it, right?
exactly.
That is very important.
Like the difficulty at managing hectic schedule for a year or two, if it will give you a life, like you can enjoy your weekends on your own and do
Exactly.
whatever you want. So that
Totally worth
compromises
it.
is still very good. I can say that you can
Huh.
compromise in that for your next 20 years. That's totally fine.
Hmm. Exactly. Not even just 1 year. If you're working hard for 2 years, right, and if you're getting your 30, 40 years set because of that, there's
Yeah,
no harm in that,
yeah, exactly,
right? It's
exactly. I have
it's
just followed
temporary.
this motivation to do the same.
Yeah, and of course you're reaping the rewards of that right now.
Yeah,
No, so we
exactly.
have a live example right here. So
Hmm.
again, that is a temporary phase of struggle that you must go through if you want to come to a great level. Obviously, that is very true. All right. So any particular resources that you use during your preparation time that you would like to recommend to others? Something that stood out to you or that helped you a lot,
Okay, so for resources in DSA or Dev.
all around your preparation.
Okay, all around my preparation. So I basically followed Strivers, all the sheet and solved those things for the DSA journey. And also I started with the contest, solving contest in the lead code. For me, like I am in a college where we get offs on Tuesdays. So I was not able to solve the lead code contest on Saturdays and Sundays because at that time dinner time was there and the Sunday we have classes on Sundays. So I used to do the contest, like solve the contest virtually. We have an option on LeetCode to solve the virtual contest. So I used to do like that after that, coming from college and solving the code, those contests. And after that, I can say that I have followed also the Fraz Muhammad sheet, which I basically followed because I got bored after solving that particular Striver sheet for a long period of time. So that sheet has very different set of questions. If I seen a love bubble sheet and other sheets, those sheets are almost same as this drivers one, neat code one. Those sheets are almost same, but Faz Mohammed sheet I have seen that those are having a very different set of questions, which will help you to gain more knowledge and more patterns. Those basically follows, but those are some new questions also. So that is one of the good resource I have followed in the my Flipkart for also the preparation for Flipkart. Some of the questions were from there, so I have seen it. And also for the development part, I have gone through very much hackathon sites for searching out the unique projects and for getting to know that what are these tech stacks. I followed YouTube, and like I have not jumped deep dive into some of the language. I prepared my projects like doing the smart work. Like if I want to know about this, go and in a one shot video that this is the particular language and then start coding for it using AI tools, because at that time chat GPT was there. So you must follow the smart work, because if you start going in very deep for a particular language to code for the project, you won't be able to code the project at that time. So you have to be very smart in maintaining the balance between DSA and dev. So you must know that basics and the fundamentals, like how data flow is going on right now, how I have to integrate the APIs. It doesn't depend what language it is. It depends that what my basics are. So have to be very clear on the basics. And nowadays it's very easy to build any project, I will say again and again, because it will explain you each and everything. If you want integrate an API, it will explain you these steps. If you want to do something, it will explain. You just have to execute and remember those basics. It's not about, because if you will go in company and corporate, you will start working. So you can't rely on all time the project like AI tools at that particular time. You have to know the basics if you want to debug something. So that AI tool will not come and debug. Like in the starting, also I can say that I have faced this difficulty because I have built projects like this only. So I just started with my mentor said that debug this. I was like, how to debug this? I don't know. So he said, know your basics. Okay. And then I said, okay, okay. Then I must suggest everyone that if I have done this mistake, like done like this, just know the basics. Like knowing the basics is very important, because if you are executing some project and by your own and not doing anything, so you will learn these skills step by step. It's not a one day task that if you will go through this video for development, you will be done. No, you have to do it on your own. It's all about the practice. So this is the thing.
Hmm. Right, right. And even when you're building, you'll come across so much problems that will not be in the YouTube video that you're
Yeah.
seeing, right? and facing those yourself, debugging those yourself, that will give you the true skills of a software developer.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly,
not
exactly.
just watching the video. So we've covered pretty much everything about your journey in details. We've covered how you mastered DSA, Dev, and all the other things. We also discussed the resources. So on a final note, to all of the people who are watching this video, who also want to crack a company like Flipkart, let's say off campus as well, then what advice would you like to give them?
Advice I would give them is like work hard for it. It's not about like you want it and you get it. It's like always a journey. It's not about
Hmm.
you have started preparing it for like 1 month or 2 months ago and it's all done. No, it's all about a
Yeah.
journey. At least you must devote your 6 months for all these. If you are starting from very basic, at least you must devote your 6 to 8 months for the same, and then you will be ready to crack off any of the interviews. But you must devote all your times. And the advice I would suggest them that be very smart in nowadays, because then the day of AI, if you are doing very hard work, it's not always about this. Being a very smart person, and also I would suggest that be very confident in each of the interview you are qualifying for. Because in my case, I have seen a lot of times, like if I fumble up something, like if I don't know the exact answer, but I am very confident about what half of I know about it, it gives me a very clear privilege upon
Hmm.
this. Because if I say like
Yeah.
I know this much about this question and a rest I can go through these, because this questions I find it very interesting. So rest of this, thank you for letting me know about this question, and I will go after the interviews about this. This is a very question. So be very vocal, and whatever you are thinking, like I have given Google interviews also. So the basic thing all I can say that is you have to be very confident and vocal about whatever you are thinking. If you are thinking in the right direction or in the wrong direction, be very vocal around it. So this is my advice to each and everyone.
Right, right, and that's some great advice right there. All right, so I guess we've covered pretty much everything about her journey and all the wonderful advice that she shared. And if any one of you still have any doubt, then I'll give a LinkedIn in the description along with all of the resources that we mentioned. So make sure that you have a look at the description box. All right, so thanks a lot, Parul, for coming on the channel and sharing your wonderful journey and all these advices. I really hope this helps a lot of students. So yeah, thank you.